Hey everybody, this is Kelly. I am drawing Elsa today. I just had a little bit of extra time, so it's going to be just a rough, general, quick sketch of Elsa and gonna color her and see what happens. I put a shortened version of these videos on my Instagram, Candor Draw. That's KANDERDRAW. And some people wanted to see the full thing. So this is the full video, real time of drawing Elsa. It is about half an hour long. So it didn't take me very long. So again, it's just kind of a rough draft thing. Just something fun. Just, excited for Frozen 2, so gotta draw some Elsa. Well, I was thinking about putting music in the background of this video, but I don't want to get hit by any copyright things, so I'm just gonna talk for half an hour, uncut. I'm hoping I can just do this all in one take, and it'll be great. So excuse me as I just blather on. I will not be offended if you want to just mute this if you're interested in just watching it. Yeah, definitely a lot different than my usual. I have a podcast, Fanimated, animated with an F in front of it, and we talk about animation if you don't already know that. And that's really nice because I edit everything I say basically. So this will be interesting. Just talking for a half an hour straight and seeing what happens. If you don't know, I am using Procreate on my iPad here. So that's the program I'm using if you're interested. Hopefully I can give you a little tips and tricks about what I'm doing here, and as well as just talk about Frozen because I'm really excited about it. Again, you can hear my full thoughts on Frozen in my podcast. I'll put a link in the description because we have a whole episode about Frozen and how wonderful it is. And I'm really excited for the sequel that comes out. Depending on when I actually get this uploaded, maybe it's already out. Maybe you guys can tell me how it goes. Let me know in the comments what you liked about the movie. In the original, though, I really, really love Elsa. Anna obviously is amazing too, but I have sisters, and it's just such a sweet story about sisters and siblings. And my younger sister is definitely an Anna, and so we say that I'm more like Elsa. So here's an Elsa. If you're interested in what brush I'm using right now, this is the dry ink brush in Procreate. It's an already made brush that's in the program, so don't have to do anything weird to it. Later on when I'm painting, I'm either using a sketch marker thing that I made, or the round paint brush is the other one I use. So yeah, those are the brushes I use. Here with this profile, I don't know, there's still something off. Again, I only did it in half an hour, but there's something off with it. I think I did something weird with the jawline. I don't know, just learning, figuring it out, one thing at a time, But yeah, Elsa's super awesome, and she's got all these awesome powers. I'm excited to hear in the second one a little bit more about her powers and the connection to this magical forest that's there. So that'll be really cool. And yeah, especially since this one, the first film, Anna and Elsa are separated most of the time, so you don't get to see much of their relationship together. So I'm really excited to see in Frozen 2, since they're going on an adventure together, we get to see more of the Anna and Elsa sister relationship, and I'm really excited about that. That'll just be really fun and super exciting. half an hour is a really long time. Gosh, I don't even know if I have enough to like say in the full half hour. Unless I just like reiterate things that I've said about Frozen in my podcast. If you haven't listened to my podcast episode, I was really obsessed with Frozen before it came out, and then when it finally did, I actually had it spoiled for me because the ending with Hans was leaked on the internet, and so I went into the movie knowing about Hans, and that really just like messed with my enjoyment of the film. So it definitely was not my favorite film right at the beginning, and I had hyped it up so much in my mind that it just didn't live up to the unreal expectations I had for it. So now I don't go too crazy with films like that anymore. I still get excited for films, and I follow, what's in production and what's coming out, but I try not to, get anything spoiled for me, because I am not a fan of spoilers. I know some of you probably do, and I know people who are fans of, like, knowing what's going to happen. Like, they would rather have it be spoiled for them, like any sort of movie. And I don't really get that, but hey, more power to you. It's easy for things to be spoiled in this day and age of everything's on the internet. So hopefully nothing gets spoiled for me for the second one. I only have a few more days to go, so hopefully I can make it. So there's not much I can say about the drawing itself right now. Yeah, just kind of sketching. I don't have any specific like questions from you guys either to answer about it. Maybe I should do that next time. Ask for questions. If you guys have any questions about what I'm doing or anything like that, put it in the comments section and I'll answer them next time. If you don't know what I just did there's a selection tool on the top left, the little squiggly, and you can select an area and move it around. I was trying to fix that jaw problem I was coming across. I think I fixed it a little bit, but still something a little weird, but that's all right. I only did this in a very quick amount of time, so. Procreate is definitely my favorite thing to draw on. It's totally worth the price. Honestly, it's totally worth the price of an iPad, because that's why I bought an iPad. I have an Intuos Wacom tablet for my computer, and I was using that when I first learned how to draw digitally. But I really wanted an iPad just because it's so much easier to carry around. Instead of having to carry around a laptop and a tablet and connect it all, and then you have like this, trying to keep everything straight. I don't know, it's just heavy and annoying. So I was really wanting to get an iPad, and so worth it. It's worth it just to draw on the iPad, really. And I would definitely recommend, especially if you're getting an iPad for drawing purposes, get the larger screen. Just get the 13-inch. Get as large of a screen as you can afford, because it's definitely worth it. I would highly recommend. And this program, Procreate, is so wonderful. I mean, you can't do quite as much as you can in like Photoshop, if you have specific things you're looking to do, but I mean, everything I need is on Procreate. I don't need to use anything else. Although, again, you don't need fancy tools to be a good artist. So if you've got copy paper and a number 2 pencil, then great. You can still be a great artist without all the technology or anything like that. So don't feel like you have to get latest technology to be good at art. And I think that applies for basically any art medium as well. Like, you don't need a fancy camera to be a good photographer, or I don't know, a fancy guitar to be a good musician. You just use the tools you have available to you. It's not the tool that makes the artist. It's what's inside. Also, I am using a reference when I'm drawing this, so don't go thinking that I'm just drawing this from memory, because I couldn't remember what her dress details were. Definitely had to look and see. Especially her little crown. It's so cute. And I know she flings everything away, but and becomes the Elsa that we all know and love and let it go. But I really love, love, love her coronation dress and her cape. It's also pretty. We talk about this in the podcast episode, but we definitely don't think all of that hair could fit into her tiny little bun. Her braid turns out so voluminous and large, so yeah, there's definitely some animation trick there to get all of her hair in a bun. Again, I'm using a sort of sketch marker pen that I made in Procreate. It basically doesn't have any, what's the word? Well, no matter how hard I press, it will be the same density. That's not the right word. What are technological terms here? It doesn't have any like opacity to it. It's just like a solid color. And I like to use that to get a base layer. And again, I don't have a ton of time here, so it's just like a quick, get some color on there, make it work. I'm also adding different layers just in case you don't know anything about digital art, but extra layers, being able to add different layers is the best, because then you can really separate things and edit things color by color. I usually do that. I usually have a completely different layer for every single color, except for sometimes details I put all on the same layer. I should probably not do that, but that's just how I do. I just love this purple. I used to have, when this movie came out, I had a coat, like a pea coat that was this exact color, and so the following year for Halloween I dressed up as Elsa, and all I did really was put my hair up and wear a blue dress and put this coat on, because then I felt like I was wearing her cape. Just random side tangent. This whole thing is a side tangent. What am I saying? Yeah, definitely leave me any questions in the comments, or go on my Instagram and message me, ask me questions, because if you guys like this and I do it again, maybe I can just answer some questions while I'm doing this, because that would be kind of cool. And this was really fun to do, and just I draw a lot of commissions and stuff and other projects, so it was nice. I just needed to just draw something for fun and not really think too hard or worry about it. So this was just kind of a quick doodle and being excited for Frozen. So yeah, or if you have specific things you want me to draw, I'm always looking for suggestions. It's always fun to, draw things that you, prompts that you guys ask for. So definitely leave a comment. And again, my Instagram is CandorDraw, KanderdRDraw. Whenever I paint a color that's supposed to be black, I always do it a little lighter than the actual black, because black is the line art. So I use a lighter black, like a gray, a really dark gray, because it still looks like black, but then you can still see the lines. And I haven't quite gotten to the point where I like to color my lines. I know that can look really good, or some people will not have any lines at all, and that looks really pretty. I'm definitely more confident in my line art though than my coloring and painting, so at this point I like to leave my lines there, because I definitely feel more confident with that than anything else. But we're all still learning, continuing to learn. That right there, if you didn't know, in Procreate you can, in a layer, if you create a circle, as long as it's an enclosed shape, you can drag that color from the top right corner there and just drag it inside of that shape, and it will completely fill the shape. So that's really helpful when you're coloring large areas. And I've done that a couple times already, and I didn't even say anything. So there's a little tidbit for you if you didn't already know on Procreate. Make your coloring and painting a little easier. As you can see there, I was making another layer, another color, another layer, another color, another layer. Another nice thing about Procreate is you can have palettes like I have there. This is just random palette of colors that I use a lot. And I usually keep a white and a black there and a few different shades for like skin tones and things, because then I can easily just pick something and then kind of adjust as needed. But I don't have to start from scratch every time I'm looking for a skin tone color. I can kind of, you know, say, oh, this one skin tone might be a little more, have more red undertones, so choose that one and adjust as you go. It's very helpful. You can make like a ton of different palettes. So if you're working on lots of projects with the same colors, or you're doing like character design and you have, you know, draw exactly the same colors, clothing and character design on a character, then you have it right there without even have to search for your color that you need. Just make a palette. So this is all of the base color done. And then just adding some detail, a little reflection on the eyes. Man, the undo button, it's my favorite button. It's not even a button, you just double tap, but it's my favorite thing about digital art. And nowadays, like Inktober just happened, and I will still find myself like with an actual paper and pen, double tapping the piece of paper to undo. But it's traditional art, I can't undo anything. I've been forever changed by digital art. I'm dependent on the undo button. Oh, there's that round brush. So I was using that sketch marker as the base color, just so that it's completely full. And then using that round brush, I can add a little more. I can do a little lighter stuff or a little darker, depending on the pressure of the pen. And if you didn't see earlier, I'll do it again on some of these other layers. When you're in the layers, you can use 2 fingers to swipe. And like right here on your layers, double swipe with 2 fingers, and that will lock that layer. So anything on that layer, that's the only thing that can be edited or changed. And so then it's really easy to draw over that, because it won't go anywhere other than that layer. Another way to do that, you know, to add textures or anything, see I'm doing that there, is you can add another layer right above the layer you want to paint on. Let's say it's hair, and so you make a layer above that, and then you click into it, and it gives you some options, and there should be a clipping mask. If you click clipping mask, then you will be able to draw something new without changing the layer underneath it, but it will only go on top of the area that was painted underneath it, if that makes sense at all. I think I do it later when I'm drawing her cheeks. I gave her a little color to her cheeks and her lips, and I'll go over that again because I will do it there. Here I'm just I'm painting extra shadows and things just directly onto the same layer instead of switching layers. It probably would be better to make a clipping mask layer instead, because then you can edit the shadows without hurting the original layer, but doing this in half an hour, it's not that big of a deal. It's definitely a big deal though when you have like a million layers and a million colors and you don't want to mess anything up. This was also me struggling to figure out how to shade this. It just kept looking weird. And that's okay. I don't really do too much shading on this piece at all. Just kind of some basic stuff. Wanted it to look rough anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't look good. That doesn't look great. See right there, I erased and then I erased the whole base color. So that's why you would want to do a clipping mask instead of what I just did. So then you can erase and you're not erasing the base layer. That's okay. We live and learn. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited for Frozen 2. I'm trying not to get too excited because, again, I don't want my expectations too high because I don't want to be disappointed, but I'm pretty excited. Kristoff and Sven are also just my favorite, and I really want there to be a good like Kristoff and Anna duet. That would just make my day. Obviously, I also want a good Anna and Elsa duet. I really, really loved in the original Frozen, there was a song that was cut, Life's Too Short, that's what it's called. And that was the song that they sang when Anna gets to the Elsa's castle and trying to bring her back to Arendelle. And it's such a good song, and it was cut for, various reasons, I'm sure. And partially because that was part of the story where, there was a prophecy and all of that. So some of the lines don't work, but it was just such a good song. And there were so many other Anna Elsa moments that were cut in the original. So I'm excited, again, to see more Anna and Elsa together. So I already did it, but you should have seen on this layer that I'm working on right now is a clipping mask layer. And when I'm doing color like this, like on the cheeks or the ears to make it like a little pink, I'll use a very, very bright orange or bright red and then just turn the opacity way down. That just makes it feel a little more natural instead of trying to use a pink directly on there. I just use a very bright red. Again, there's so much you can do digitally. It's just so nice. Also, how do lips work? What are the shape of lips? I don't know. I hope you're enjoying this. If you are, click on the like button because then I'll know that maybe I should make some more of these. I don't really know. So you can subscribe if you want to, because maybe I'll make some more of these. It's kind of fun because it's just kind of no pressure doodling. It's kind of fun to chat. I don't know what I'm going to draw next time. I like to draw animation characters. Animation is my favorite after all. As you can see, I've also been using the select color tool. Again, if you don't know, in Procreate you can, on the left bar there, where you have your opacity and brush size sliders, in between those two, there's that little square, roundish square. If you click that, you tap that, I should say. We're not clicking on anything. This is an iPad, not a computer. If you tapped at that, then this little round thing appears, and you can tap on a color that's already on your on any layer, and it'll immediately select that same exact color. So it's really easy to just pick the colors that you need. Very helpful. Oh yes, I'm adding a little eye details. Gives them a little more depth. So there we go, that's selecting the same color. And then I'm just choosing a little darker color to add the shadows. I have done it before, and I do that sometimes where I'll just, especially for just like doodles, just use black paint and set the opacity way down, and that'll get you a really basic shadow. It's definitely not as vibrant and isn't really like painting. Like this is more painting when you're using actual colors. But that's a really easy, quick way to make shadows if you want to. Just setting the opacity way down with a black color. You can use it with other colors too, though, if you're looking for like a different tone, you know, like a purple or something like that. Might not look as stale as just the gray. But again, I use the opacity a lot. It just helps with, you know, whatever lighting tone you're trying to get, or anything like that. I don't know if any of these tips are helpful even, but I hope they are. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I'm enjoying myself here, drawing Elsa. I'm also really excited for the second one to learn more about their parents. The trailer has some stuff with their parents in it, and I think that'll be cool. They don't really have much personality in the first one, and they aren't shown very long, so hopefully we'll get a little more insight into the parents. There's that clipping mask. So now anything I paint on that layer will only be on the layer that was underneath it, which is the hair layer. Just forgot to add a little detail. She's got some ribbons in her hair. I wish I could do that with my hair. Well, now I can't at all. My hair is like super short. But if any of you guys are really good at braiding, let me know. Can you do this? Is this possible? It's not even a braid, it's like a twist. What is it? It's animation magic. That's what it is. There we go. Almost done. Just got one more thing to do. Gonna add another layer. Go back to my dry ink brush. You've always got to sign it. I also save all my files with the date. I highly recommend doing that. Even if you're working in traditional art, always date your stuff, because it's always nice to go back and look and go, when did I make this? And then you can kind of see the journey of your art takes. So again, that's my handle for Instagram and Twitter and wherever. Candor Draw. So there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was really, really fun to make, and I'm super excited for Frozen 2, and Elsa is my fave. She's the queen. So let me know again what else I should draw, or what questions you want me to answer, or if there are any things in Procreate that you want me to show you. I will do my best. I am continuously learning as well, so I will let you know anything that I know, which is something. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.